to Pavlic. They sure have. They were sworn in almost a day after the election, and they haven't stopped since. They've been here, there, and everywhere, repairing relations with some of the countries in the Pacific, which was needed, and doing some amazing stuff, I'm happy to say. Yeah. 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 And the fact that this was known by the previous government, they knew about this on the 1st of May. So 3 weeks prior to the election, they knew that these price increases were coming in, but suppressed it and didn't inform the public and left it until after the election for that to come to light. So now people are, blaming Labor. You can't do this in 3 weeks. I mean, they're good, but even they're not that good. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. Exactly. They did have ample time to do this. This didn't happen the day before election. Let's call it how it is. I mean, they've had ample time to approach President Macron and do a deal, but they didn't. And there was a lot of bad blood there, as we well knew. I mean, Macron come out and what did he say? He didn't think Morrison was a liar. He knew he was a liar. So that tells you that story. But the fact that Albo was able to get in there within the first 2 weeks of him becoming PM and negotiate that deal and save Australia close to $2 billion is a good thing, and we need to recognise that. And that's a saving for us. Yeah, 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 yeah. They have. Yeah. Char- yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, these are, in some ways, these have been the facts of reality for lots of Australians over the past decade. Anyway, the only difference being that there's going to be a bigger hike in terms of power costs come July. Um, Look, Labor being Labor, I'm sure that they will come up with something. It won't be, or it may not be, the kind of stimulus that we have had in the past. But I don't think that Labor is the type of government, or historically hasn't been the type of government that would allow people to have to choose between food and eating and medication and so on and so forth. So, but our in saying that, our books, they're cooked. They've been. I mean, our the state of affairs in our economy is dire. Jim Chalmers has called it that. Katie Gallagher has also called it that. Every portfolio that they have looked at to date is proving to be on a similar ground. So it's not going to be an overnight fix. But at least we can take the comfort in that this government does care for its people, and there will be something somewhere to relieve some of the strain that people are currently feeling. And I'm confident in that. So, yeah, yeah, heard a lot of, yeah, yeah, yeah. And you combine that with fuel prices going up, food going up, everything is going up. The rentals, again, now with the interest rates going up, they're talking about landlords passing that increase on to tenants. So people are being flogged at every level. It's impacting on them, and something will need to come forward. I don't know what that's going to be. Like I say, I am confident that there will be some relief for the most vulnerable in our communities. Some relief. Um, yeah, Yeah. 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 No. No. Well, it's all right if you don't eat lettuce. But yeah. No. Look, everything is through the roof. We know that. We've known that for some time. This is nothing new, really. These are all the uh, old things that have really just built up and now have gone kaboom, and just everywhere. And now we're in a crisis mode across the board, and we need relief. But it's difficult to provide that relief financially, at least, in because of the state that we are at the level of debt that we're at. It would be irresponsible of Labor to go to the money gods and say, look, we need to take the pressure off these people, throw a couple of dollars at us so we can disperse that and give people immediate relief. I mean, everybody would jump up and down and say, oh, there goes irresponsible Labor again throwing money around. But in saying that, they are being overly cautious because of that, and I think I've said that before. But in saying all of that, I'm also very confident of who Anthony Albanese is as a human, and I honestly can't see him allowing this to go on through till October, allowing people to freeze or not eat or whatever, make those choices all the way through October. Something will happen between now and then to give the most vulnerable Australians some relief. I don't, that's just my own heartfelt feelings. I haven't got that information from anything or anybody. That's just what I feel personally. Um, Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah. That, yeah. Maybe look at, yeah, yeah, yeah. I yeah, well, yeah, 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 yeah. No, yeah. And the other thing is they're not even being paid currently by Indu, are they? On the, yeah, uh, yeah, yeah. So you got to feel for those families. Nothing to put in their cupboards and fridge because they're not getting any money at all. And a horrid situation to be in. Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, we talked about that the other night, and that seems to be a good way out. Is if they can, if they could create a clause in the current documentation that allowed people. I mean, Anne Ruston was asked about this on numerous interviews. You know, because she did say that people can get out because, I mean, they did tell everybody that it was voluntary, even though it wasn't, and that people could get out. But when asked how, she didn't have anything in place to say how people could get out of the program. So if they could put in an opt out clause allowing people the opportunity to jump out of this ridiculous card and get back to normal, that will help a lot of those people that are currently not even getting any bloody money. What a disgrace that is. She wanted to mention, yeah, yeah, yeah. And yeah, 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 I, you're right. And I don't think that it is because she was always very, very vague on those details. So I don't know that it is part of the legislation. It may well be part of the policy. But yeah, 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 yeah. Well, she was on top all over the cashless debit card. Her and Julian Hill put the bill up, and they were all over this. So if anybody will know, she will. So it's definitely worth asking her about that one. But the other thing about being left behind is, I mean, that was all those things were promises for this term. It didn't mean that, okay, today we're elected and from today onwards no one gets left behind. There's no magic wand here. No, no. Yeah, yeah. No, yeah, 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 yes. And in terms of going to work, I mean, if you're paying, so if you're a low income earner like those people on $20.33 whatever an hour, I mean, justify paying $2.20 a litre of fuel. Yeah, September, September, I think, August, September. Are they not? Are they not passing it on, or is it that the prices of fuel are continuing to climb, and that it was that excise cut has been absorbed in further increase? Because I heard that fuel will be at $3 by the end of the year, $3 a litre by the end of the year. The war, no, if the war in Ukraine continues, yeah, that's a big one. Yeah. The war. In the Gulf of Mexico. Crazy. All going offshore. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, and a lot of our stuff is exported, so there isn't enough retained in our own countries to sustain our country. It's all going off our food, our meat, everything is going offshore. Partly because of the bigger profit margins that farmers etc. get for their produce on the overseas market, which leaves us then with food shortage and exorbitant prices in trying to compete with that. So again, you're right in terms of the bad policy that um, we learned this through the pandemic that we need to be more self-sustained, more self-reliant, but we haven't put those things into action yet. And I think that's something for this term of this government at least to address. Sure. The federal election is now done and dusted, with the Liberal Nationals finally busted. Yay! Albo now is Australia's 31st Prime Minister, disbanding the NLP's policies so sinister. The ALP now have a new record, choosing 13 women to come on board to ensure female voters have a voice and Australia's minorities are given a choice. So as electricity, gas, and petrol prices trend an upward spiral, with the poorest hardest hit to pay for their survival. In a land of plenty, a new treasurer says there are no easy fixes to ease the cost of living for those who are the hardest hit. Now, Albo has stated the ALP will leave no one behind. He has hit the ground running, however, he's in a bind. To give the poorest in the land some financial relief, or say, suck it up for now and hold on to your belief. So, as Australia goes forward as a climate change nation, we need to remember ALP's future destination to create jobs and an economy purpose fit to ensure no one is left behind is where we all sit. I think so. I think it does. And yes, I still have a strong belief for our future, but we always knew it was not going to be an easy task. A decade of darkness. We can see the flicker of light, but it'll be a while before we're through the tunnel. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Bad governance, bad policy, and corruption, and also unforeseen, unexpected circumstances, pandemic, war. You know, there's lots to play out. We're not the only country doing it tough, but I do believe that we are, as always, resilient, and we will come out of this a better, stronger, happier nation going forward. Sue Pavlic, be kind to each other.